It's hard to believe, but the Fairline F33 is 5 years old. To my eye, it's still one of the freshest, best looking 10-metre designs you can buy. It's aging better than Helen Mirren. But when the boat launched, it wasn't perfect, and they've made a lot of changes in that time to try and gradually improve the package as a whole. And in this video, I'm going to show you what those changes are. I'm going to reacquaint myself with what it's like to drive, because it's got a pair of V8 petrol engines, and see if Fairline has made a tasty recipe into a delicious one. I'm Jack Haines, welcome to YachtBuyer. Right, let's begin with the launch, shall we? 860 horsepower on this thing, twin stern drives, naturally aspirated V8s. Let's see how it feels. Oh, the sound is the first thing. You just don't get that with the diesel. It is quite choppy today, so unfortunately we're going to struggle to fully open it up. I mean, I think it will comfortably do 45 knots, this thing, possibly more. We're doing 25 now, but we're not going to get to the top end today, it's just too bouncy. However, that instantaneous response, that is what is so rewarding from having a pair of petrol V8s. No waiting for turbo lag, no spooling up, just bury the throttles and woohoo! Noise and speed and wind! Yeah, plenty of wind. It's visceral, is what it is. You'll properly drive this boat. It does feel fantastic. And it's incredibly agile as well. That twin stern drive setup is so sweet. This isn't a very big boat, it's only 33 feet. So when you give it a little bit of heel, oh, yes. This is what I think you lose with outboards. You just don't quite get these angles of heel. The instantaneous response, the grip as well. It turns round back on itself so quickly. And then if you do get stuck in the hole, you can just... What? I've got to be a bit kind because there is a man holding a camera over there. If you drop it back to 25 knots, it feels more relaxed. You think you could cruise at, 15 knots more than this, but yeah, this is good. We haven't actually got live fuel flow on board, which might be a good thing, to be honest. But 25 knots certainly feels like the comfortable cruising speed. You don't test many boats these days that are genuinely a lot of fun to drive, and the driving experience is part of the experience. They've worked hard to make this fun, sporty, enjoyable to drive, and it's worked. And they have made a lot of changes to the early boat. When these first came out, there were a few tweaks, especially at the helm, that needed to be done, and they've done those. It is now a much more comfortable, ergonomically sweet, supportive place to drive the boat from, and you can be quite versatile in the way you sit. You can sit right down where you've got plenty of shelter, considering how stubby that windscreen is. I've got the seat bolstered, but there's nice high sides as well, so I'm really held in. So when I do chuck it around a bit, I'm gripped in place. Oh, it is so responsive. It's like a motorcycle, leaning in. You almost feel like you're going to dip the cleats in the water when you turn hard. It's great. But yes, a much more functional dash. It all works much better. Everything's closer to me. I still think the MFDs could be a little bit better tilted towards me because they're leaning away a bit. And this isn't a Fairline thing. This is a MFD in general thing. Touchscreens, no good on a boat like this. You need to have the dial so you can use a button, because stabbing at a screen like this when it's bouncing along, we're only doing 25 knots, it's not that rough, but yeah, you need physical buttons because this is just a bit too difficult. But it is such an experience. It is visceral, intoxicating. mean, you can have it with V6s, but why on earth would you do that? V8s all the way. And their noise. Yeah, Fairline have built a proper little muscle boat here. I'm getting a bit carried away. A couple of things I've noticed. I like the multi-function steering wheel. It's got some simple controls so that you can flick through songs on the Fusion system. You've got lighting on here and the horn and things like that. But when you're moving the wheel through your hands fast, especially at slow speed, maybe if you're using one hand, you do catch the base of your hand and your wrist on this hub, and sometimes it stops you turning the wheel. I mean, obviously the joystick's there, so you're probably going to use that at slow speed if you've got it. But as cool as this is, I do find sometimes it gets in the way. The other thing is, the hardtop is an option, as is the sunroof within it, and that's a manual sunroof. And if you're picking it up on the mic, but upwind especially, it's quite rattly. As often they are, these fabric roofs, they just get caught and they rattle in their mechanism. For me, I'd probably go for the hardtop because it gives you that nice fixed shade, especially if you're keeping it in a hot country. But I'd probably do without the sunroof because I think they're probably a bit more trouble than they're worth. But that's the driving experience. I think we should head back to the marina and give you a more thorough tour of the decks and the interior. Right, twin stern drive setup, as I've mentioned a few times now, and the optional joystick, cost option, as is the bow thruster. It is blowing, and for me, you know, the joystick is good. This has got the new gearboxes on these new drives, and with the petrol engines especially, it's so smooth in and out of gear. I can show you. You probably won't necessarily pick up the sound of the gearboxes, but usually, or on older versions I should say, there was a lot of clunking in and out of gear. This is incredibly smooth, and the petrol engines help that because they're naturally quiet at idle. But for me in these winds, you know, I just feel more comfortable with the throttles. That's what I've sort of learned to drive on, so that's where I default with it when the conditions are really tricky, especially when I've got the bow thruster. I personally just feel like I've got a bit more control. In carver conditions, everything going through the joystick is great. It's a nice option to have, but personally right now, trying to slip onto that berth there, I'll probably use the twin throttles and the bow thruster. Ain't gonna be easy. Sorry, David. Just need to give it a bit of welly to get it to turn. Cheers, Stephen. Thank you. Joysticks. A load of Before we get on with the tour, make sure you subscribe to the YachtBuyer channel. Hit subscribe, hit the bell icon, and you'll be notified every time we upload a new sea trial like the one we're doing today. Right, let's get on with the tour. Right then, tour time. Now, in the original layout of the F33, this had a fold down transom platform. Now we just have a fixed platform here with a ladder to help you in and out of the water. But one function I do really like is this boot area back here. Pops up really easily, and on a boat like this, having somewhere to just chuck the fenders, the lines, it's got a slot for the boat hook as well, all at the back of the boat, all in one place. I think that works really, really well. Heading to the cockpit, this is where the big change has taken place. Gone is the opposing seating. We'll cut a shot of that in now so you can see how it used to look like. And this is the new, much more sociable arrangement. U-shaped seating, a table that pops out from behind here, which is a typical Fairline touch, wet bar opposite,
it just works so much better. And there's good functionality on top of this boot system as well, because there's a two-way backrest here which produces a very large sun pad for a boat of this size, and then the whole thing lifts up in the touch of a button to give you really very good engine access. Now another key addition is the hardtop. We mentioned that out on the water, and they've integrated it really nicely. This is a great looking boat, especially without any coverage, but of course you need some protection. So hardtop is good. Sunroof I probably wouldn't bother with, as I said, but nice to have this fixed protection on a boat like this. And you've got the wet bar opposite as well. Sink's a bit small, but you've got a good sized grille and some cooling space underneath as well. Moving forward, there's some more nice practical touches. We've only got one of these lovely gates because you haven't got space for it now with this new layout, but what a beautiful bit of engineering that is. It was great when it came out, and it's still great now, and it leads up onto what is admittedly quite a narrow side deck, but actually you can brace yourself on this, and then soon enough you get a bit of guardrail and a bit of protection. So when you're moving up doing the fenders, it's not too bad. Right forward, we've got a nice big slab of sunbathing space, and I love the lighting on this thing. They've got strip lighting set into the decks. It does look fabulous at night. More practical stuff. This could be so good. It's a really useful space right next to the helm where you can chuck all your loose bits. It just needs something to hold it up. That's a shame that that's just going to slam down, but it's a beautifully made lid and very useful. Just come on, Fairline, give us a gas ram. The helm is clean now, so we can admire some of the detail. I love this use of lighting underneath, and it's a very, very stylish design. This strip of stainless steel that winds its way around the edge of the helm. It's a very, very nice place to sit, and you can see the shape of the seats. They do hold you in very well. It's a proper sporty driving position. Storage is okay, this is great. And then you've got these nice deep cup holders as well. They hold cups, but they're also big enough to hold loose items. But for your phone, there's actually a charging tray down here as well, and it's got a lip on it, so if you empty all of the horsepower, you shouldn't lose your phone sliding down the deck. Nice job here on deck. Let's head downstairs. Down here, there is much better accommodation than you might expect you're going to get when you look at this thing from the outside. Starting with the galley, it's not enormous, but there's quite a lot here. So we've got storage above here. You've got space for all your Fairline branded bits and bobs. There's more over this side as well. Sink here with a sink cover, so you can cover it up to give yourself a little bit more storage space. There's a bit of storage and a bin underneath here, and then you've got another fridge. You've got a fridge underneath the counter, induction cooking. Not great ventilation for cooking in here. I don't imagine you're going to be cooking up a Sunday roast or anything like that, but you have got a way of heating things down here at least. And then moving forward into the dinette, it does feel very high quality, especially with this optional gloss walnut. It's an expensive option, but it does look the business, and it really does give you that sense of being on board a Fairline. Now, this is also convertible, so this drops down, there's an infill, and this is an open plan double berth. There's another cabin we're going to have a look at the moment. There are no windows down here. They've taken their time to put lighting behind these panels, but you've not got any actual night. But what you can do is pay to have a camera that faces out the front of the boat so that you can turn that on and at least have a bit of a view forward. It's quite a novel way of doing it, but surely it would have been easier just to put some windows in. There is a little hatch in the ceiling here, so you can get some natural light in if you want. But it doesn't feel claustrophobic because headlights are pretty good. I can't stand up here, but as I move forward, I can stand up pretty well. And there's a bathroom over here. It is a wet room, so if you shower, you're going to get the whole thing soaked. But again, headroom is fine. And through this door here, there is another cabin. Now, the nice thing about this arrangement is if you're on the boat on your own as a couple, you can use that as a dining space and not have to convert anything to come in here and have your bed set up. You're not having to convert the bed at the end of the night. But equally, if you have got guests on board, you can give them this for a nice private cabin, but you can convert that and you can sleep on board as well. Now, this is not luxurious in terms of space. You can see the restrictions of headroom over the bed, but the bed itself is a decent size and the finish is very nice. We've got more lovely gloss woodwork, storage on both sides and some very luxurious carpet underneath. Now before we wrap up, let's talk pricing.
The base price with twin V8 petrols and the new layout is just shy of £399,000 excluding VAT. And though the standard specification is relatively healthy, this boat has a few key cost options to create a turnkey package. So the boat as tested was £566,000 excluding VAT. Some of its key options included a bow thruster, the joystick, upgraded MFDs, the saloon TV with bow camera, platinum S-Deck decking, the wet bar, and of course the hardtop. The only items I might add would be Humphrey interceptors for £8,000 and aircon plus a generator for £30,000 if the boat's going to live somewhere warm.
To answer the question as to whether the changes Fairline's made to this model have worked and made it a more rounded package, I'd say in a single word the answer is yes. The design of the cockpit is so much better, makes it that bit more usable. The tweaks to the helm have worked very well indeed, and having options now like the hardtop have really added to the appeal of what was already a pretty appealing model. It's expensive, it's a prestige product, and you do pay for that, but it is a serious head turner. Let me know what you think though. Do you think the changes they've made have improved the F33 as an all-one product? I'll be interested to hear what you think of this model. Thanks very much for watching that review of the Fairline F33. I hope you enjoyed it. Give us a thumbs up if you did. And if you'd like to watch my review of this boat's big sister, the Targa 40, I'll put that for you up here. We also tested this, the 40 and the 45, with Nick Burnham from Aquaholic and James Bark of boats.co.uk. I'll put that video for you down here. Thanks again for watching. I'm Jack Haines. This is YachtBuyer.